Good day, Kimberly families. This is Principal Sally coming to you for our Q&A with Principal Sally on Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. Our topics will be the intervention and enrichment blocks for this upcoming school year, our adjusted bell schedule, and upcoming dates for open house and the first day of school. Again, welcome to our Q&A with Principal Sally on Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. I would like to begin by grounding us in our mission and vision for the Atlanta Public Schools and Kimberly Elementary School. The mission of Atlanta Public Schools is through a caring culture of equity, trust, and collaboration, every student will graduate ready for college, career, and life. At Kimberly, our mission is to provide a learning environment that fosters a growth mindset and develops student creativity through innovation within a global society. APS has a strategic plan that is connected through strategic priorities, equity commitments, and strategic initiatives. Specifically within those strategic initiatives are the APS 5, surrounding data, curriculum and instruction, signature programming, whole child and intervention, and personalized learning. All of this connects to the school through a 3-year academic recovery plan that the Atlanta Public Schools has initiated. Why? Because there was a ton of unfinished learning due to COVID-19 and school closures. Only 40% of Kimberly students were physically in the building this past year and a half. As a result of that, there was slow academic growth, not only at Kimberly Elementary School, but in most schools in the United States. So what are we going to be doing about that? In APS and at Kimberly, we'll be initiating a new K-12 universal screener. The summer academic recovery program began this summer with over 16,000 students registered to participate. Also, there'll be required school-based intervention and enrichment classes at the elementary level, which will be 30 minutes a day. So let's begin first by looking at our bell schedule. The bell schedule for Atlanta Public Schools is being modified for both elementary, high school, and middle school students. At the elementary level, our school day will be 7:45 to 2:45. This is in contrast to this past school year, where the instructional day began at 8 o'clock and ended at 2:30. There were 15 minutes added onto the beginning and the end of the day to accommodate the 30-minute intervention block that is now required by Atlanta Public Schools. Now, our building will still open for students beginning at 7 o'clock for any early drop-offs and 7:15 for the normal drop-off time. Buses will drop off students at 7:15 in the morning. So that 7:15 to 7:45 time will be the homeroom and breakfast time for students. So parents should ensure that they get their children to school no later than 7:45 a.m. because that's when instruction will begin. Again, students will be late beginning at 7:45 a.m. if they are not in their homeroom classrooms. All pre-K through 5 students will be enrolled in either enrichment or intervention blocks. At Kimberly, these times will be 8:15 to 8:45 for our pre-K through 2 students and 9 to 9:30 for our students in grades 3 through 5. Now, there are plenty of things that we're going to be doing during this time, primarily around the use of iRead, Read 180, and Do the Math, all preceded by universal screeners through NEA MAP and System 44. More information about that on the next slides. So when you look at our 30-minute intervention block at Kimberly, it'll take place like this. We'll have a weekly focus each week. Week A will have reading taking place on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with math on Thursday and Friday. And then week B will be math 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with reading on Thursday and Friday. This will allow our teachers to not only get in the required 2 days a week of reading and math as required by the district, but also add an additional day each week. So that way there's an additional focus or additional time to be able to focus on a particular subject area. Now, the programs that'll be used again are for K2, I read and do the math, and for grades 3 through 5, System 44, read 180 and do the math. So, what is the MAP assessment? What is NWAU MAP? Well, MAP is a universal screener that will be replacing the STAR test that we have been given in the past. It will give us a holistic view of how the student is performing in their fluency and comprehension, as well as their foundational skills. It's an adaptive test, meaning that as the student takes the test, how they answer the questions will determine how far the test will go. So the more they're able to show proficiency in a particular skill or set of skills, then the test will then give them additional tasks to complete, which will then come up with a range around what their instructional level is. This will provide the teacher with a ton of information about one, what the student's strengths and weaknesses are, and how they will then utilize the intervention or enrichment block for that particular student. This assessment is a computer-based assessment that is given to all students in our school. This test only takes 20 minutes. So I know a lot of times we get worried, oh, we're going to give our kids another test. Well, this test will take 20 minutes and it's scored automatically. And once it's scored, then the teacher will be given the results of that assessment to then be able to determine how they will group their students during that intervention or enrichment block. The test will be given in 3 different windows. One in the fall between August 23rd and September the 13th, and that's when we'll give the MAP growth test. And then there's a MAP reading fluency test for pre-K 2 that'll be given again August 16th through September 3rd. Then there's a winter window and a spring window where we'll give those same 2 assessments to the particular students that are involved. Once that assessment has been given, then students will be placed in K2 on iRead. iRead also has an assessment that it gives the students to determine their levels and what skills they need to be worked on. But the information from MAP will also feed into iRead to give an initial placement level for students. iRead works on foundational skills. So it helps students who are below grade level on foundational skills that have limited literacy backgrounds, weak phonological awareness, and slow or choppy reading of simple text. It'll teach them core phonological awareness, phonics and word recognition, spelling and encoding fluency, as well as support them in their vocabulary and language development. In grades 3 through 5, those students will first take a reading inventory. That reading inventory will then place them either on Read 180 if they have a Lexile score that says that they do not need foundational skills, or if they have a Lexile score that says they need foundational skills, then they'll take a phonics inventory, and then that will then place them on the levels that they need on System 44. So our grades 3 through 5 students will also get what they need, whether they are reading or they are non-readers. And so that's basically how you want to look at that. For a student who's a reader, they will work on Read 180 to improve on their reading, vocabulary, and comprehension skills. And for those students who are not readers in grades 3 through 5, they will take a phonics inventory that will then place them on System 44, which of course is a foundational reading skills program geared for upper elementary school students. So that way they're not working on assignments that would make them feel embarrassed about their level of proficiency. All of our students will work through a math intervention called Do the Math. This is not a new program for Kimberly Elementary School. Our math specialists have been working, utilizing the resource Do the Math for the last 5 years at Kimberly Elementary School. This is now a resource that will be used district-wide for any students that are getting math intervention. So how will this look in the classroom? Well, a typical classroom will look just like what you see here, where the teacher will have most of the students grouped into small groups where you see cooperative grouping for 4 students at a table at sets of tables. Now, of course, in our classrooms, we'll have the desk shields up and students will be wearing masks. You also see a reading center. You see a technology center. You see a small group table there where the teacher will be working with students in a small group And so each classroom will have an opportunity for students to work not only independently together in small groups or independently on their own, they'll have an opportunity for them to work in centers, and they'll have an opportunity to work at the small table with the teacher leading them through the instruction. So as we get ready for the next school year, we have open house that will be on August the 4th, and it'll be 9 to 10 for our pre-K through second grade and 10 to 11 for our third through fifth grade. This will be an in-person open house session, which is why we're breaking it up into two sessions. We're asking all of our parents to remember that we're still following all of our safety mitigation strategies of wearing masks and being socially distant when we're in the building. Please note that no parents or students will be allowed into any APS facility, specifically into Kimberly Elementary School, without wearing a mask and being screened at the door when they come in. The nurse and or some other staff member will be taking temperatures and asking screening questions before you're allowed in the building. So please, when you come for open house or when you come and drop off your kid on the first day of school, please be aware that this is the procedure and will remain the procedure unless we're given further direction from the district. Our first day of school is August the 5th. And again, remember our doors open at 7:15 a.m. with the instructional day beginning promptly at 7:45. That means, again, your child must be in their classroom at 7:45 or they're late. Dropping a student off at the front door at 7:45 does not make them on time for school. That makes them late for school because they must be in their homeroom, sitting in their seat at 7:45 a.m. If you have any questions or concerns, you can put them in the chat right here on Facebook Live, or you can scan the QR code that you see right here on the screen, and it will bring up a questionnaire for you to be able to put in any questions that you have. I want to thank you very much for participating in this town hall. Again, if you have any questions, please make sure that they're in the chat. We will answer questions in the chat, or you can complete them through this QR code, and we will answer those questions as well through our Let's Talk platform. Be reminded, all information about Kimberly Elementary School can be found on our many social media sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel, or our school website.